California might now be the new Deep South when it comes to capital punishment. So Slate wrote about this, Robert J. Smith to be specific, and he brought up some statistics from this year that indicate that Southern California has actually sentenced more people to the death penalty than the southern states. So let me give you those stats right now. So far this year, Texas has not had a single new death sentence. Neither has Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, or Virginia. While the Deep South has moved away from capital punishment, Riverside County, California has become the new buckle of a new death belt. Okay, it produced 7 new death sentences in the first half of this year alone. That's more than California's other 57 counties combined, more than any other state, and more than the whole Deep South combined.
So here's what you have to understand about Southern California. Los Angeles is very liberal. Sometimes if I see in the old days a Mitt Romney bumper sticker or a T-shirt, I'll literally think it's ironic, right? Like, you're kidding, right?
It's like a unicorn.
Yeah, there's no way. So that's most people's impression of Southern California. But outside of L.A., you have some deeply conservative places, including Riverside. Then you got Kern County, Orange County, San Bernardino, et cetera. Very, very Republican, very conservative. And in those places, this is not at all surprising.
It isn't, right. So some might say, all right, well, you're just focusing on this year, right? But the southern states, they've been way worse than California when it comes to the death penalty. Not true. So Los Angeles County has actually sentenced 33 people to death row since 2010, which is more than any other county in America. That's kind of incredible.
Wow.
But here's another thing to keep in mind. Even though California does sentence a lot of people to the death penalty, not a lot of people actually go through with the death penalty, right? Mm-hmm. Because they'll be in the prison system for decades. Some of them die while in prisons, and some of them will get executed, but way later on. Now, let me give you some more stats. If you combine the death sentences of 5 southern states with an aggregate population of 40 million people, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia, Los Angeles still has more death sentences over the same time period. The reason why that stat is so important is because some people might argue, well, California has a larger population, so it's kind of unfair to say that they sentence more people to the death penalty.
Yeah, and if you know Los Angeles County, it is gigantic. So Los Angeles is the second largest city in the country. Los Angeles County goes forever, right? And so it's not surprising that in that giant population there would be more sentences of each variety. Yeah. But even so, you take the 40 million people from those southern states, and Los Angeles is still putting more people to death.
Exactly.
Right. And so that part is surprising. And luckily, they don't really go through with it at the end for most of the time. But it's an enormous waste of taxpayer money, and it's not the right solution anyway.
It's not.
And especially given, as we've said over and over on this show, we've exonerated so many people on death row that at this point, you'd be crazy. I mean, it's honestly deeply immoral to say that you'd be in favor of the death penalty at all. Not because it is hypothetically wrong, but you know for a fact we've gotten it wrong so many times, and not in history, but right now we've gotten it wrong so many times that some percentage of those people you're going to kill are innocent. It's one thing to want to kill a guilty person. Right. It's another thing to know that you're going to kill a certain number of innocent people, and apparently a lot of innocent people, and still be cool with it. The South shouldn't be cool with it. The Orange County, Riverside, et cetera, shouldn't be cool with it. And Los Angeles County certainly shouldn't be cool with it. We got to get better than that.
And I'll leave you with this final amazing statistic. So in order to kill, or to execute, I should say, the 748 inmates that are on death row in Southern California, we would have to execute a person a week for the next 14 years. And that's according to a judge who gave a statement about this issue.
Wow, man. Could you imagine? Every week for 14 years.